Welcome back, viewers, to episode 9 of our Street Legal Legends car build, Petty Chevy. We're going to get back into some mechanical repairs. Last week and the past couple weeks in general, we've been focusing on wiring, electrical for this car. That is a good thing that we have to get done, but we do have to get some of the mechanical items too. In a previous episode, you would have seen that we cleaned off our brake calipers. However, they have gotten rusty again already within less than a month. So we're going to have to clean those up. We're also going to get back to making the brake lines for the front of the vehicle. We're going to look over what we did for the right front, and we're going to make the left front. Then we're also going to get back into some other mechanical items. We're going to have to start putting together a list of things since we've taken the car apart and now we've kind of got all these multiple little projects going on. We're going to have to really get together with ourselves and figure out exactly where we need to go. But right now, let's get stuck back into cleaning these brake calipers and getting them painted. Before I actually set out to cleaning the calipers a second time, I had to go back and get this small section of brake line off. If you remember from before, the line would not come off and it rounded, and as I found out here, it must just be because someone had it on way too tightly. That was a little way too tight. I tried using my handheld wire brush because this was all just surface rust that had come up with in the past month of me taking these calipers off. However, the wire brush just really wasn't doing anything. So here in a second I go ahead and get my power drill out and use my wire brush attachment for that. The wire brush attachment for my power drill really makes very short work of all of this surface rust. Now that I have both brake calipers cleaned, it was time to start masking off some of the areas that I did not want paint to get on while I was painting these calipers. I was making sure to cover the pistons and the seals, and also the brake bleeder fitting on the back of the caliper as well. Here I've got the calipers all cleaned up. Just kind of hit them with the wire brush real quick. I'm not looking for a perfect show quality. I just need to get some paint on these so that they stop rusting. I also made sure to put some tape over the seals and the pistons just so we don't get any extra paint, and over the brake bleeder fitting as well. So I've decided I'm just going to go ahead and use the red paint that I have. Red or black, doesn't really matter. Red's just going to stand out a little bit, make it pop, give it a nice little bit of color. Really what I'm mostly important about is just getting a coat of paint on these calipers so they stop getting surface rust on them, and hopefully that will keep the longevity of the calipers and make sure that they just don't rust out or have any issues in the future. I don't know if I can get replacement calipers for this, so I just want to do everything that I can to kind of just keep everything together, keep everything in good working order, plus the red paint's going to look cool on it. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. I'm going to go ahead and leave those sit there for probably about 30 minutes for the first coat. I'm going to go ahead and move on to fixing some of these brake lines. It's going to be a little difficult to see in these next shots, but I was taking my tight radius brake bender and working on the brake line that I had roughed in last week. This is the right front line. I just had to work on getting it bent a little bit better on the car, and after that I was going to take it off of the car and finalize all of the bends. I spent approximately another 10 minutes working with that brake line until I got to this point where I take the soft brake line from the caliper, made it up to the hard line, and make my measurement for where I want to make my cut and fitment. Off camera, I had finalized my bends and gotten them exactly how I wanted them, and then also flared the end with the fitting on it so I can make my final connection to the soft line for the right front caliper. The first brake line shown here is the finalized brake line for the left front brake circuit. And this brake line going this direction is the finalized brake line for the right front circuit. Welcome back, viewers, for episode 9 of our street legal... Oh, God damn it. I just realized I should probably tape up the brake lines, too. So, that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. Once I find the cap that I just lost.